concluding this Outlook 2008, my look at the year 2008, I want to just say a word about wildcards. Some years ago I met and heard Alvin Toffler, and he argued that instead of focusing so much attention on what is likely to happen in a given time in the future, it's interesting to look at what is unlikely to happen, because it is the events that are not very likely but would have very high impact if they did happen that he thinks makes the most difference in history. Here's something that's unlikely to happen but would have a big impact in 2008. Stability in Iraq. I don't think it's too likely that we'll see stability in terms of violence and in terms of political reconciliation in that country, but if we did, it would increase the likelihood that a Republican named John McCain would get the nomination of that party for the U.S. presidency, and it would increase the likelihood that he would be elected. And if he was elected, then we'd continue 4 more years of Republican control, which would then decrease the likelihood for any progressive change in healthcare, in tax policy, and even though perhaps slightly lesser degree in the field of in the environment or the climate crisis. Now, there's a wild card of a wild card that makes it less likely that John McCain would get elected, and that is the whole issue of immigration in the U.S. Conventional wisdom says that you have to be opposed to open immigration in order to be elected. John McCain would run on an anti-immigration platform, but it could be that the huge wave of Latino immigration in this country has tipped the balance on immigration policy so that in an actual vote, being seen as too anti-immigration would work against you. Bottom line is that I think that the wild cards are not, neither of those wild cards are too likely to happen, but they could have a big impact on the U.S. presidential election depending on which way they fall. So that's the story for 2008. To wrap it up, 2008 to me looks like a year in which there will experience a lot of kind of whipsawing back and forth. Lots of opportunity, lots of innovation that we'll see, lots of turmoil in the financial economic markets, and of course lots of conversation because of it being a presidential election year about which directions we ought to be going. And we won't really know a lot of the answers until we get closer to the end of 2008 as compared to here at the beginning. This is Glen Hiemstra for Futurist.com, and this has been Outlook 2008.